All right. Ready to dive into something kind of unexpected?
Okay, I'm game.
We're going deep on self-discovery,
Self-discovery, okay.
but through suffering.
Interesting. Suffering, huh?
I know, right? Sounds a little counterintuitive, maybe.
Yeah, usually we think about, personal growth.
Feeling good, all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
But stick with us on this one because we're talking David Goggins
Oh, wow. Okay. Intense.
and Jay Shetty.
Interesting combo.
And they're suggesting that actually leaning into discomfort,
Discomfort, okay.
even pain,
Pain, wow.
can unlock some serious self-awareness.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're unpacking their conversation from Jay Shetty's podcast.
All right.
So yeah, buckle up.
This is going to be good.
So Goggins, right?
Yeah.
Retired Navy SEAL, known for pushing human limits.
Right, like extreme stuff.
Totally flips the script on suffering.
Oh, how so?
He doesn't see it as something to just endure
Right.
or avoid.
Okay.
He actually views it as a powerful tool,
A tool.
almost like a roadmap
Oh, interesting.
to understanding yourself better.
Self-knowledge through suffering.
Exactly.
I like that.
He even uses this really intense analogy.
What's that?
He calls it a live autopsy.
Whoa. Okay, a live autopsy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And he's basically advocating for, like,
Yeah.
dissecting your experiences.
Dissecting failures,
Mhm.
insecurities,
Ugh, all the tough stuff
while you're still in the thick of it.
while you're going through it. Yeah.
And Goggins believes this active reflection
Okay.
helps you understand the root cause
Root cause, all right?
of your reaction,
Uh-huh.
choices,
Okay.
and ultimately leads to deeper self-awareness.
So he's saying, like, instead of just reacting,
Yeah,
we should really analyze why.
totally.
Interesting.
So he's saying instead of shying away from those painful memories,
Oh, I see.
he's suggesting we actually revisit them.
Revisit them, okay.
Almost like re-meeting
Okay.
the people
Wow.
who caused us pain.
Re-meeting the people
Yeah.
who caused this pain. And even talks about, like,
Yeah.
mentally replaying these encounters.
They're playing.
Analyzing why they affected him so deeply.
So really dissecting it.
Right.
That's fascinating.
And he argues that our instinct to forget,
Yeah, we tend to do that.
to bury these experiences,
Push it down.
actually hinders growth.
It comes back to bite us later, probably.
Yeah, it's like sweeping dirt under the rug, right?
Exactly. It's still there.
It's still there,
It's hidden.
just out of sight.
Yeah.
So he believes that true growth
Okay.
comes from confronting these difficult moments head on
Confronting head on.
and extracting those valuable lessons from them.
So taking the time to actually learn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
All right, lay it on me.
Goggins talks about the mind's tactical advantage,
Tactical advantage.
almost like a built-in defense mechanism.
Like a shield.
Yeah, like our minds are wired to protect us,
Makes sense.
often by keeping us firmly within our comfort zones.
Safe and sound.
And this makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint.
Right, totally. Yeah, avoiding danger, staying alive.
Survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
But Goggins argues that this same protective mechanism
Oh, I see.
can actually limit our personal growth
By keeping us too safe.
by making us hesitant to face discomfort.
Because growth requires a little bit of risk.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So then the question is, how do we overcome this?
Yeah, how do we break out?
And he uses his experience in Navy SEAL Hell Week to illustrate this point,
Hell Week, oh my God.
which is this brutal
Oh, yeah.
130-hour training
Wow.
designed to push participants to their absolute breaking point.
Physically and mentally.
Both.
Wow.
And what's interesting about Hell Week
Okay, what's that?
is how they use psychological tactics.
Oh, psychological tactics. Okay.
Like sudden shifts from intense chaos
Mm.
to eerie silence.
Whoa, that would mess with you.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
And this deliberate manipulation
Manipulating.
forces participants to confront their mental limits
Oh.
and pushes them beyond their perceived breaking points.
It's like they're breaking you down
Yeah.
to build you back up.
And Goggins realized
Yeah.
that the people who thrive in that kind of environment
Okay, the ones who make it through.
are the ones who can stay present,
Present.
focused on managing just that one moment of discomfort
That one moment,
instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole ordeal.
breaking it down.
Right.
So important.
And he even uses this powerful analogy
Okay, I like analogies.
from his time leading a boat crew.
Boat crew. Okay.
Imagine being responsible for your team's safety
Wow, high stakes.
in a high-stakes situation.
Yeah.
And he found that focusing on their needs
Focusing on others.
actually helped him silence his own self-doubt
Interesting.
and push through the discomfort.
So helping others helps you.
It's like that shift in focus outwards
Okay.
can actually be a source of inner strength.
That's pretty powerful.
But both Goggins and Shetty acknowledge
Huh.
that constantly pushing yourself right without taking time to recover
Recovery, so important.
can be detrimental.
Yeah. Burnout is real.
They both shared experiences with burnout.
They've been there.
And Goggins uses this phrase,
Okay.
oiling the lever,
Oiling the lever. I like that.
to emphasize the importance of self-care and recovery.
So it's not all about pushing, pushing, pushing.
Right.
Gotta take care of yourself, too.
It's a reminder that we can't just relentlessly push
Yeah.
without taking the time to rest,
Rest and recharge.
recharge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we risk burning out
I don't.
and causing long-term damage.
Like to our health, our well-being.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So it's about finding that balance,
Balance. Okay.
that sweet spot
Yeah.
between pushing your limits
Pushing, but also
and taking care of yourself.
taking care of my.
And a big part of that is learning to listen to your inner voice.
Oh, absolutely. That inner wisdom.
You talk about the difference between the impulsive child mind
The child mind. Okay.
and the guiding intelligent parent voice
The wise one.
within.
Yeah.
And Goggins argues that ignoring that inner wisdom
Mm-hmm.
can lead to poor choices
We've all been there.
and missed opportunities for growth.
Right, when we don't listen to ourselves.
He highlights how easy it is to get caught
Uh-huh.
in that tactical advantage trap,
Great, staying comfy.
that tendency to stay comfortable
Yeah.
and avoid anything potentially challenging.
Playing it safe.
But he also emphasizes that real growth
Yeah.
often requires us to step into those uncomfortable spaces.
Right, to get out of our comfort zone.
That's where the real work begins.
The real work, yeah.
Learning to discern between that impulsive child mind
Yeah.
and the wiser guiding voice within,
That's the key.
cultivating that inner wisdom
Okay.
and having the courage to follow it,
Even when it's hard.
even when it leads us towards discomfort.
The discomfort is where the growth is.
That's what they're saying.
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
Yeah. What really strikes me about Goggins and Shetty's conversation
Yeah.
is this powerful message of like taking responsibility for your own growth.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
both like totally reject that victim mentality
Right. It's all about empowerment.
and suggest that you have agency, like you have a choice,
You have a choice.
how you respond to these challenges.
And they're not sugarcoating it either.
No, not at all.
They acknowledge that confronting those painful memories,
Uh-huh. The stuff we try to avoid.
those parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid,
Yeah.
it can be incredibly difficult.
Oh, for sure.
But both Goggins and Shetty believe
Yeah.
that that's where true strength lies,
Strength in the darkness.
in those darker,
Yeah.
uncomfortable corners
Of our experience.
of our experience.
It's not always pretty.
And they talk about how seeking constant comfort
Right. Always playing it safe.
actually limits our potential.
Limits our potential. Yeah.
By playing it safe, we might be choosing to stay small. To shrink back from opportunities for growth.
Right.
That might involve discomfort.
Because growth often involves some level of discomfort.
And Goggins uses this term,
What's that?
mind hardening,
Mind hardening. Okay.
to describe the process of intentionally seeking out
Okay.
challenging situations,
Pushing yourself.
pushing himself beyond his comfort zone.
Intentionally, yeah.
And he believes these hellish experiences, as he calls them,
Hellish experiences. Intense.
train the mind to be more resilient.
Like building mental muscle.
Exactly.
Love that.
He almost sees discomfort as a crucial ingredient for growth.
Oh, interesting. Like you need it.
Yeah, think about his oiling the lever analogy.
Right. Oiling the lever.
You can't keep pushing a machine to its limits without proper maintenance.
Got to take care of it.
It's about finding a balance
Balance, yeah.
between pushing your boundaries
Yeah.
and giving yourself time to recover.
Recover, recharge.
And that recovery is just as important, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely crucial.
It's about recognizing when you need to rest,
Yes.
step back,
Take a break
and recharge
so you can come back stronger.
so you can come back stronger.
Exactly.
And both Goggins and Shetty talk about the importance of self-care practices,
Like what kind of things?
like meditation,
Okay, Mr.
spending time in nature,
Nature.
or
yeah.
simply getting enough sleep.
Sleep. So important.
So it's about listening to your body and mind,
Tuning in.
recognizing when you're pushing too hard.
Knowing your limits.
And that's where discerning between
Yeah.
that impulsive child mind
That child's mind.
and the guiding intelligent parent voice comes into play.
Right, that wise voice.
Goggins and Shetty believe we all possess that inner wisdom,
We all have.
that voice of guidance.
Yeah.
But It's up to us to cultivate it,
To nurture it.
to learn to listen,
To really listen.
even when it's urging us to do something that feels difficult or uncomfortable.
Right, because that's usually where the growth is.
So let's bring this home for you, the listener.
Okay, yeah.
What's one small area in your life
Smell area.
where you can embrace a little discomfort today?
Little discomfort. Okay.
Doesn't have to be anything monumental.
Just something small.
Maybe try a new workout,
Okay. New workout.
speak up in a meeting,
Speak up.
or have a challenging conversation you've been putting off.
Oh, that's a good one.
The idea is to start small.
Start small. Okay.
Build that mental toughness gradually
Gradually, like any muscle.
as you begin to realize you can handle discomfort.
You can handle it.
You'll feel more confident tackling bigger challenges.
Like a snowball effect.
You start to prove to
Of yourself.
that you're stronger than you think.
You are stronger than you think.
And that's a key message from both Goggins and Shetty.
It is.
They believe our potential is far greater
Far greater
than we often believe.
than we give ourselves credit for.
But we have to be willing to step outside our comfort zones to reach it.
Gotta get uncomfortable.
It's about pushing past self-imposed limitations. Those limits we put on ourselves.
And embracing the journey of growth.
The journey, yeah.
Even when it's uncomfortable.
Even when it's tough.
Recognizing that suffering, when approached consciously,
Consciously, that's key.
can be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery.
It can be a good thing.
It's a matter of perspective.
Perspective, yeah.
Instead of fearing it,
Right.
they're encouraging us to see suffering
Okay.
as an opportunity to learn and grow,
An opportunity, yeah.
to realize that we have a choice
We always have a choice.
in how we respond to
As
challenges.
we respond, yeah.
Do we let them break us
Break us down.
or use them to become more resilient?
Become stronger.
And that's a powerful message to carry with you.
It is.
It reminds us that we have the power to choose growth,
We have the power.
to embrace challenges,
Yeah.
and to become stronger because of them.
Because of them, not in spite of them.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into self-discovery through suffering,
Okay.
we're going to shift gears
Shift gears, all right.
and explore some practical tips from Goggins and Shetty
Practical tips, I like it.
on how to embrace discomfort and use it to fuel personal growth.
Sounds good. So,
Okay.
how do we actually put these ideas into practice?
Right, it's one thing to talk about it.
But how do we live it?
Exactly.
Well, one of the most practical takeaways
Okay.
from Goggins and Shetty
Right.
is this idea of intentionally seeking out
Okay.
small discomforts
Small discomforts.
in everyday life.
Everyday life. Okay.
Because it's like building mental resilience,
Oh, I see.
the same way you'd build physical strength.
Like at the gym,
Exactly.
lifting weights.
Okay.
We're on-
Gradually
Okay.
through consistent effort.
So small steps.
Yeah. Baby steps.
I love how Goggins talks about
Yeah.
incorporating discomfort into his routine
Oh, yeah. He's all about that.
with things like cold showers,
Oh, cold showers. Brutal.
sleeping on the floor.
What? Sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Why?
It's not about punishing yourself.
Okay.
It's about intentionally pushing your comfort zone
Okay.
just a little bit.
Just a little each time.
And by doing that
Feels
consistently,
okay.
you start to change your mindset
Mindset shift.
about discomfort.
You don't fear it anymore.
It becomes less of a threat and more of a challenge,
A challenge you can overcome,
something you can handle
handle it,
and even learn from.
learn from discomfort.
It's almost like building up a tolerance, right?
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
He even compares it to developing calluses on your hands.
Calluses. Okay.
The more you expose them to rough surfaces,
Right.
the tougher they get.
You get tougher.
It's the same concept with your mind.
Oh,
The
interesting.
more you expose yourself to discomfort,
Okay.
the more resilient you become.
You build up that mental toughness.
And here's something I found particularly interesting.
Okay. What's that?
Both Goggins and Shetty talk about how this process
This process of embracing discomfort,
can actually lead to a deeper sense of gratitude
gratitude, and
for the good things in your life.
good things, okay?
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
When you've experienced real hardship,
You appreciate the simple things more?
you start to appreciate the simple things so much more.
Yeah, you don't take them for granted.
Those everyday joys become amplified
Yeah, amplified, okay.
because you've tasted what it's like to be without them.
You know what you're missing.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
And that shift in perspective
Shift in perspective, okay.
can be incredibly powerful.
It can change your whole outlook.
Challenges become opportunities for growth
Opportunity.
rather than obstacles to avoid.
You see the good and the bad.
You start to see the world differently.
Wow, that's powerful.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to challenge you to think about one small discomfort
One small discomfort
you can embrace today.
Today, okay.
But it's one thing you can do
One thing.
to push yourself just outside that comfort zone.
Just a little bit.
Maybe it's having that tough conversation
Ooh, that tough conversation.
you've been putting off,
We all have those.
or tackling a project you've been procrastinating on.
Oh, yeah, that big project.
Remember,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a huge life-altering change.
Just something small.
The key is to take that first step,
That first step.
to start building that mental toughness muscle.
One step at a time.
Pay attention to how it makes you feel.
Tune in.
You might be surprised
Pleasantly surprised.
by the strength you find within yourself.
You're stronger than you think.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Goggins and Shetty remind us
Mm-hmm.
that suffering, when approached consciously,
Consciously, that's key.
can be a powerful catalyst for growth and self-discovery.
It's all about how you approach it.
It's about taking control,
Taking control.
pushing your boundaries,
Pushing those boundaries.
and embracing the full spectrum of human experience,
The full spectrum.
discomfort and all.
The good and the bad.
And who knows what you might discover.
Who knows?
On the other side of that discomfort,
The other side?
you might just unlock a whole new level
A whole new level.
of resilience,
The resilience.
strength, and self-awareness
Self-awareness.
that you never knew you had.
It's all there waiting to be discovered.
That's a great note to end on.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.